By the spring of 1973, every other American muscle car company had already given up. Ford had killed the Boss 429 and the 429 Cobra Jet. Chrysler had pulled the plug on the 426 Hemi. Chevrolet had detuned the LS6 Chevelle to the point where it was barely a muscle car anymore. The federal emissions regulations of 1971 had hit Detroit like a sledgehammer. The insurance industry war had ended the youth market for high-horsepower cars. The 1973 oil crisis was about to make gasoline a luxury item. Every responsible American auto executive in Detroit had reached the same conclusion. The muscle car era was over. Except for one division. Inside Pontiac's engineering offices in Pontiac, Michigan, a small team of engineers led by a man named Herb Adams was building exactly the kind of car that everyone else had given up on. A hand-built,
race-bred, 455 cubic inch big block V8 with forged internals, 4-bolt main bearings, and a cam profile aggressive enough to make grown emissions inspectors nervous. They called it the Super Duty 455. It would be the most powerful production engine sold in America in 1973 and 1974, and Pontiac would build only 1,296 of them across 2 model years before quietly killing the entire program at the end of 1974. The last great American muscle car engine, built in defiance of every regulation, every market trend, and every other manufacturer's strategic decision.
And then erased from Pontiac's product line as if it had never existed. Hit subscribe before we get into it, and drop your next muscle car pick in the comments. The Super Duty 455 came out of a Pontiac corporate culture that had been pushing performance boundaries since the early 1960s. We covered the GTO Judge in another video on this channel, the car that John DeLorean built specifically to violate GM's corporate engine displacement rules. Pontiac had a reputation inside General Motors for refusing to play by the same conservative rules that the other divisions followed. By 1972, DeLorean was gone from Pontiac, but the engineering culture he built was still in place. Herb Adams was running performance engineering. The team had a clear assignment from Pontiac management: build something that would prove Pontiac still cared about performance, even as the entire industry retreated. What they came up with was the Super Duty 455. The engine started with a heavy-duty version of Pontiac's existing 455 cubic inch block, then upgraded almost every internal component for racing
I-grade durability. The block itself had thicker main webs and provisions for 4-bolt main bearing caps. The crankshaft was forged steel. The connecting rods were forged steel. The pistons were forged aluminum. The cylinder heads had larger ports and were specifically designed to support higher RPM operation than any street Pontiac V8 had ever attempted. The oiling system was redesigned with an external oil cooler. The carburetor was a Rochester Quadrajet 800 CFM unit. Every Super Duty 455 engine was hand-built on an off-assembly line operation, separate from regular Pontiac engine production. This was effectively a hand-built race engine being installed in a production street car. Pontiac's original plan called for the Super Duty 455 to be available in multiple cars: the GTO, the Grand Am, the Grand Prix, and the Firebird platform. The original horsepower rating, when Pontiac engineer Herb Adams introduced the engine to the press in June of 1972, was 310 horsepower at 4,000 RPM and 390 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. Magazine writers loved it. Pontiac dealers placed orders. Customers walked into showrooms in early 1973 ready to buy. Then, the EPA stepped in. The Environmental Protection Agency had been formed in December of 1970 and had been progressively tightening emission standards on American auto manufacturers ever since. When Pontiac submitted the Super Duty 455 for emission certification, the engine failed. The aggressive 308/320-degree camshaft Pontiac engineers had spec'd produced too much unburned hydrocarbon emissions at the test conditions. The EPA refused to certify the engine for production sale. Pontiac had 2 choices: kill the program entirely or redesign the cam profile to meet the regulations. Pontiac chose the redesign.
The cam profile was reduced from 308/320 duration down to a milder 301/313 specification. The change reduced the engine's peak power output. The official horsepower rating was lowered to 290 horsepower. The press materials had already gone to print with the original 310 horsepower number, so for the 1973 model year, some Pontiac literature still showed the higher rating, even though the production engine was actually rated at 290.
The certification process delayed Super Duty production. The first SD455 cars didn't reach dealerships until late June of 1973. By that point, Pontiac's then general manager, Martin Casarillo, was seriously considering canceling the entire program. The engine was expensive to build. The market for high-performance cars was collapsing. The 1973 model year was already half over. Casarillo almost killed the SD455 before any cars reached customers. What stopped him was a practical problem. Pontiac had already committed to outside suppliers for Super Duty engine components. Forged crankshafts were on order. Forged pistons were in inventory. Special cylinder heads had been cast. Canceling the program would have wasted millions of dollars in committed expenses. So Casarillo compromised. The Super Duty 455 would be available, but only in the Firebird platform. No GTO, no Grand Am, no Grand Prix, just the Firebird. That single restriction is why the Super Duty became known as a Trans Am engine. It only existed in one car.
Production for the 1973 model year was 295 total Super Duty Firebirds, split between Trans Am and Formula models. Production for 1974 grew to 1,001 units, of which 943 were Trans Ams. The total across both model years was 1,296 cars. Less than 1,300 examples of what would turn out to be the last true muscle car engine produced in America. The Super Duty 455 was, by every measurable metric, the most powerful production engine sold in America in 1973 and 1974. Car and Driver tested a 1973 SD455 Trans Am at 13.75 seconds in the quarter mile at 103.56 miles per hour. Hot Rod magazine compared the SD455 against a $10,000 Di Tommaso Pantera and declared the Pontiac the better performance buy. The Trans Am SD455 sold for approximately $5,500. A 1974 Corvette with the LS4 454 cost $6,200. A Jaguar XKE cost $9,200. Nothing on the American market in 1974 came close to the SD455 for performance per dollar. So why did Pontiac kill it?
The answer is a combination of factors that all hit at once. The 1973 oil crisis had crushed demand for big engine cars. Federal fuel economy regulations were about to take effect for 1975. The EPA was already drafting new emission standards that the Super Duty 455 would never have passed, even with another cam revision. Insurance premiums on the Trans Am SD455 were running so high that many young buyers couldn't afford to insure the car. And Pontiac's broader strategic direction under new corporate leadership was moving towards smaller, more efficient cars. In 1974, Pontiac quietly ended Super Duty 455 production. There was no farewell campaign, no commemorative edition, no press release marking the end. The engine simply disappeared from the 1975 Firebird order sheet. Pontiac continued producing the regular 455 V8 in detuned form through 1976, but the Super Duty was gone. The hand-built engine line at Pontiac Engineering was shut down. The forged component supply contracts were closed out. The Super Duty 455 had lasted 2 model years.
Today, the 1973 and 1974 Trans Am SD455 cars are among the most valuable American muscle cars from the early 1970s. A documented original 1974 Trans Am SD455 with the 4-speed manual transmission, of which only 212 were ever built, regularly sells at auction for between $100,000 and $200,000. A 1973 SD455 Trans Am in concourse condition can exceed that range. The cars carry a reputation in collector circles as the last true American muscle car, the final stand of an era that everyone else had already abandoned by the time Pontiac built it.
The Super Duty 455 was Pontiac's last act of defiance, built when nobody else was building muscle cars, killed quietly when even Pontiac couldn't fight the regulations anymore. The hand-built race engine that finished an era. If this is the kind of story you want more of, hit subscribe, drop your next muscle car pick in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.